and assistant professors who have newly joined, not so young teachers. So a large group. I'm very happy to know that you are saying that some 100 participants have joined this program, which is a big number. Usually, when we used to address such programs, research methodology or professional development, or earlier we used to address orientation program or refresher courses. Usually 40, 45, 50 used to be the size of the group participants sitting in one class, in one room. And now you have a very large number, 100, who have joined from different places. And your room, the visual of that is giving us the feeling of being based in Manu, because you have a very picturesque, very panoramic campus, very attractive campus. So being in the campus is a great feeling. Being in academics is a great feeling. Because being in academics means that you enjoy and you have the pleasure of reading, you have the pleasure of learning. There is nothing in the world which is so satisfying and so pleasing and so delightful as gaining knowledge. And teachers are very lucky, and I should congratulate all teachers that they not only gain knowledge for their benefit, for their pleasure, for their enjoyment, for their satisfaction, they have also got that opportunity. And there's a duty, not only an opportunity, as a duty to transmit that knowledge to younger generation, to students. And it is here where the role of the teacher becomes very important. And that is why in India, this program was introduced, professional development of teachers in higher education. And earlier, your institute, this is now you are heading, Professor Rahman is heading as director of the UGC Human Resource Development Center at Manu. Earlier, this center was known as for young participants who have just joined the program, just joined the colleges and university departments. They might be knowing, they might not be knowing that it was called ASC, Academic Staff College. And Academic Staff College was the hub of, or the nodal institution all over the country. About 60 academic staff colleges now 66 academic staff colleges are HRDCs are there in the country, and they are providing this type of training.
Sir, please unmute your mic, sir. Hello. Sir, unmute your mic, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it is. You are audible.
Okay, thank you very much. So the UGC HRDC, I should congratulate the UGC HRDC for launching this program of professional development for teachers in higher education, who are teaching in colleges, who are teaching in university departments. The program is on research methodology. Research starts with the reading. Research doesn't start in vacuum. If I ask anybody that what are you doing, and if he says I am doing research, I am a research scholar, it means that he must be a student, must be reading. So research starts with reading, because unless you read, your mind will not react. So in order that the mind reacts, reading is important, and therefore we begin with reading. When we start thinking of research, we start thinking of reading, because reading gives us knowledge, reading gives us awareness, reading gives us an opportunity to know what has been written until now in the area where I wish to go further, where I wish to go to find out something more, where I can add to the existing stock of knowledge. So reading is the first thing which is important. And then the second thing, what is important, because now the width of knowledge and the vastness of knowledge and the ocean of knowledge is such wide that it is virtually impossible for any individual or researcher to read everything. Therefore, the role of the supervisor or the guide is to teach the research scholar, to guide him what to read, where to read, how to study, be taught to be studious. Long back, the University News, which is the magazine of the All India Association of Indian Universities, it brought out a volume which was on research, which was on teaching, which was on reading. I contributed an article, and the title of that article is "Be Taught to Be Studious." Somebody should guide you. Suppose you start with a book which is not a very interesting book, then it will bore you. It will not help you to go further. It will not motivate you. It will not attract you. It will not make you fall in love with reading. So the first book that a researcher should read must make the researcher fall in love with reading. And this is important, because unless you love reading, unless you are motivated to read, you will not be able to go further in reading, and you will not receive new things. So reading is important. And the second thing, when you read, when you gather knowledge, assimilate knowledge, then your mind will react, and then you come out with new ideas. And when new ideas come to you, then you have to put that new idea in the frame of what is known as epistemology, what is known as theory of knowledge. That is how your research idea, how your research topic is grounded in the theory of knowledge, in epistemology. It's like the philosophy. Philosophy is the science of knowledge. Philosophy is the science of knowledge. Philosophy means knowledge itself, and that is why the person doing a PhD, we call him doctor of philosophy. Philosophy means knowledge. One meaning of philosophy is direct knowledge, and that is why and one of the reasons why we say the person who is knowledgeable person, we say philosopher. Very ancient scholars, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato. Why do we say that they are philosophers? Because there was unity of knowledge then at that moment in history, unity of knowledge, and they were knowledgeable persons. Whatever knowledge existed at that moment in history, they were knowing that knowledge. So we called them, one alternative would have called them knowledgeable person. The other alternative would have called them philosopher. So we call them philosopher. Even now, if you hold a PhD, that means you are doctor, means expert. You are expert of knowledge. PhD means expert of knowledge. Philosophy means knowledge. So the first thing is that whenever any new idea comes to you, however, from the new idea will come to you, reading. If you read more, many books, many authors, good books, then new ideas will come to you. And then you should ground that new idea into what is known as theory of knowledge. This is very important. And every examiner, every scholar, every reader of your thesis would like to know how the topic, the new idea of research is grounded in the theory of knowledge. The second thing that is important in that in social sciences, which is a very vast area, we have many subjects which are classified as social sciences. We have economics, sociology, social work, political science, commerce, management. All these subjects are classified as social sciences. How that new idea of research is grounded in the theory of knowledge of your subject. Suppose I'm a student of economics, how that idea of research is grounded in the theory of economics. And theory of economics is not any one thing. There are many theories in economics. Then I should find out, with the help of my supervisor, in political science, many theories of political development and political science, administration, governance, and those things in sociology, in philosophy, in all social sciences. So the second thing is to how the new idea of research is grounded in the theory of your subject. If you are a political scientist, then how in political science, how in theory of economics, or in the theory of sociology, or geography, or management, or commerce, whatever. The third thing is that how your new idea of research, how you will develop it. Will it be based on the existing knowledge, existing data, which we say secondary data, or you will use it through a survey and create a new database, will go to the field will make a survey questionnaire or interviewing quantitative data or qualitative data, how you will complete your research, how you will test your hypothesis, what will be the database, how you will do the entire computation of data, and how you will come out with results. So that is the main body of research which we will be doing with the help of the supervisor. And then two more very important things which the student must know from the very beginning: how that research is likely to contribute to the development of theory of your subject, whatever subject you belong to, how that your research is going to help in the theory, in the promotion and in the development of the theory of your subject. And secondly, how your research is going to help in the promotion, in the development of policy making, because we are not working, we are not doing research, we are not busy in teaching and learning in universities in ivory tower. We are part of the society, and the society is looking to us how the knowledge which is being created through researches in university departments and colleges, how that can be linked to government policies, public policies, NGO policies, and how those results can help in policy making, which can go to benefit the society at large, which can help in social development, scientific development, political development, and overall improvement of the living standard, welfare of the people, welfare of the masses. So these are very important parts of research whenever any new idea comes to us. Another thing which I would like to emphasize in the very beginning, that when we yes, yes,
Please mute your mics. I request all the participants to mute their mics because it's disturbing the lecture. I'll mute all. Sir, now you can unmute only your system. मुजम्मिल साहब आप अपना सिर्फ अनम्यूट कर लीजिए, बाकी सबको म्यूट कर दिया मैंने.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. Now the topic of this inaugural speech, as Professor P.F. Rahman said to all of you, is about new trends in social sciences. In social sciences is a science which is a group of sciences, a group of subjects which study human behavior. There are two branches of knowledge. मोटा मोटा दो बड़े हिस्से हैं of total knowledge. One we call science, the other we call arts or social sciences. In science, we include all natural sciences, physical sciences, physics, chemistry, botany, and zoology, microbiology to astronomy, all those engineering in that science, which we say science, where they study matter and they use laboratory for their research and come out with some innovation or discovery of new things. This is science, research in science. I repeat again, it includes all natural sciences, all physical sciences, engineering branches, all those sciences from microbiology to astronomy, all different, all sub branches of that. For instance, chemistry has now many disciplines within chemistry. Physics has many disciplines within physics. All this science. So science studies matter and their field at the area of research, and the place of research is the laboratory where they go and sit and do their work in the lab. Experiment. They do experiment, come out with something new, innovation, discovery. Social scientists, what do social scientists do? ये क्या करते हैं? They study the human behavior. All social scientists, they study human behavior, and human behavior, they do not study in any lab. They study in society. And whilst these sciences, physical sciences, natural sciences, they create innovation, discoveries, new things, the social scientists, sociology, economics, political science, management, commerce, they create the mindset, they create the psychology to use that new thing for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the mankind, for the benefit of the human individual. I repeat, two branches of knowledge, science and social sciences, or arts or humanities, all together. Humanities, social sciences as arts, and science, all types of sciences, engineering in one branch. Science creates new things, innovation, discoveries, And social sciences, they create the mindset, outlook, preparedness to use that new thing for the benefit of the mankind. Advertisement, for instance, had there not been advertisement, commerce, management, ये उसमें नहीं लगे होते, then those innovations which are done in the lab, in scientific laboratories, they could not have been used for the benefit of the mankind at large. For instance, this ORS, oral rehydration solution, this was invented long back in the decade of 1940s. But this could not be used in the village level, at the village level, could not be used by the poorer families in remote areas, unless and until the languages, the literature, local languages, local literature got into it. Then poems were written, stories were written, these were made part of nukkad natak drama. And when these things were brought at the doorstep of the users, और ये कहा गया, उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी में हम लोग बैठे हुए हैं, ये कहा गया कि थोड़ा पानी लीजिए, उसमें उसमें शक्कर डालिए, माँ के दूध जितना मीठा हो जाए, एक चुटकी नमक डालिए, आंसू जितना नमकीन हो जाए, और बच्चों को पिलाइए. When this was done, ये लिटरेचर का काम है, देखिए सोशल साइंसेस का काम, ये साइंस का काम नहीं था. साइंस का काम था ओआरएस को इजाद कर देना. अब उसको लोगों तक पहुंचाना, ये माइंडसेट को बदलने वाला काम जो था सोशल साइंसेस ने किया. And this could be done only in the decade of 1990s. So social sciences, humanities, languages, literature got into this business in the decade of 1990s. Then only this knowledge, which was originated in 1940s in science, it was brought at the doorstep of the users in village areas. All the women and parents, when they were taught the benefit of ORS, then the lives of the infants could be saved, lives of the children could be saved. And now ORS is something which is a very homely medicine, very homely device to check diarrhea, which is causing great harm to the health of the children, mostly children in rural areas and in backward areas. So to be very brief, while science creates new things, new knowledge, social sciences, arts, humanities, they create the mindset because they study human behavior. They create the mindset, awareness, outlook, how to use that new knowledge for the benefit of the society. Now, the third thing which I would like to focus on is new trends. When we say new trends in social science research, the attention goes to the current issues of the society, the current problems of the society. In the very beginning, why it is that we are not sitting, why all of you are not sitting in Hyderabad, in Manu campus, and why I am sitting in Lucknow? The reason is that we are passing through a situation where it is not possible, not advisable to go at one place in Hyderabad and be there and form a classroom and give a lecture there. Then this device was used that wherever the resource person is sitting, ask him to speak on this mode, on Zoom app, or on this mode. And all of you who are online listening me, they have joined virtually as if we are in a class. Then why this has been introduced? Because there was a challenge, we could not gather at a place, and this thing was invented. Same is the case with research issues in various social sciences. Whenever any new problem comes up, the attention goes to read that problem, to research that problem. And this has been changing over a period of time. It's not that what is the current research topic should have been the same research topic 10 years earlier or 20 years earlier. We got independence in 1947. India became an independent in 1947. All researchers in social sciences in the decade of 1950s, they focused their attention on how the Indian economy could be revived, how the Indian society could be made modern, how the outlook of the people could be changed, how agriculture could be modernized, how, how the public sector industries could help in the development of the country, and how India could be made an industrial society. All attention of social scientists went to this because that was the time when these were the current issues in the decade of 1950s. Land reforms, different dimensions of land. No research in social sciences was complete unless it included some issue of social land reform or tenancy reform or regulation of rent or irrigation or mechanization of agriculture or consolidation of or the issue of modernization of agriculture, helping the farmers credit supply to. These were the issues which caught the attention of the readers and researchers in the decade of 1950s, and that was the current issues then. Then came the decade of 1960s. What were the issues? India-China war was in 1962. Then India-Pakistan war was there in 1965. Defense studies became important. Defense outcomes became important. All dimensions of defense. In economics, for instance, the economic impact of defense mobilization became very important. How the resources which were meant for economic development, social development, educational development were diverted to finance war. And then mid 60s witnessed widespread drought in the country, misery and sufferings because of food shortage, and then all attention of sociology, social work, economics, political science, commerce, management. All these IAMs were established in 1961, so they have their career starting from 1961. So the current issues in social sciences in the decade of 1960s was around these topics: war impact, drought situation, and efforts of the agricultural universities, high yielding variety seeds, quick maturing crops, fertilizers, helping the farmers, how to make the Indian economy as a self-reliant economy. That was the major challenge, major issue in the decade of 1960s. When the decade of 1970s came, then there was again India-China, India-Pakistan war, and Bangladesh became an independent nation. And the issues which were catching the attention of the researchers in the decade of 1970s, they turned their attention to poverty issues. They turned their attention to social justice. They turned their attention to making the Indian economy a self-reliant economy and how to provide employment to the people. Then the decade of 1980s came. 1980s was the decade which was described as the decade of development for Indian economy. 1962, when Asiad was held in New Delhi, Asian Games, first Asian Games in India in 1982, New Delhi. So that changed the infrastructure of Delhi. जो flyovers आज दिखाई देते हैं, many of them were constructed then. Asian village बना दिया गया पूरा 1982. So 1982 is the watershed year for New Delhi, not only for New Delhi. The early years of 1980s were the years of development, formation of, and that was the time when India crossed that limit of 40% literacy rate, because earlier it was 36%, then it was 41%. That 40% literacy rate, crossing that 40% was a threshold for development from various considerations. So the decade of 1980s brought the attention of the social scientists to development issues, public financing of development, public financing of agriculture, public financing of industry, education, different things. New education policy, as now we have a new education policy in 2020, there was new education policy in 1986. Many social scientists, they turned their attention to have what is the implication of the new education policy on different dimensions of the Indian economy, Indian society, Indian education. That was the decade of 1980s, and that was the challenges. Then came the decade of 1990s. 1990s witnessed from 1991 onwards, that witnessed economic reforms in India, liberalization in India, privatization in India, globalization of the Indian economy. And then researchers, whether they were from political science, sociology, economics, commerce, management, no research was supposed to be complete without using these words: privatization, liberalization, globalization, and then reforms. And reforms, macroeconomic reforms, sectoral reforms, all these, and then their political implications, social implications, economic implications, financial implications, what new challenges these reforms did throw for management, for governance, for a smooth administration of the society. So that was the decade of, and that also witnessed not only in India, at the world level, that the attention went to human development, not only economic development, human development, and human development report started coming. World Development Report started coming from 1978, and Human Development Report started coming from 1990, UNDP. And when Human Development Report started coming, all social scientists in all social sciences, languages and humanities, they turned their attention to human development, women empowerment, gender development, gender justice, different dimensions of they became the current issues of research in the decade of 1990s, and topics like development with the human face and different dimensions of development with human face, poverty issues, and then the many programs towards the end of the decade, when 2000 was coming up, and millennium development goals were set in 2000. All the attention of the researchers in social sciences after 2000 went on how to relate those millennium development goals with their research. If I'm an economist, student of economics, can I attempt any of the millennium development goals? There are 8 millennium development goals. I'm not going into the detail. How we can relate, how we can go on researching those millennium development goals with our local context, with our state context, with our national context. So contextualizing those millennium development goals with the local situation, the entire period from 2000 to 2010, that caught the attention of the world, and that was also the time when 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 the attention also went to climate change, to environmental issues, to women issues, to human rights, to water crisis, energy crisis. All these, they were also those issues which caught the attention of the researchers, which caught the attention of the scholars in social sciences, until from 2000 to 2010. From 2010 until now, this decade has witnessed many new things, and the most important has been the Sustainable Development Goals, which were declared in the year 2015, and now every country, every research in social sciences and humanities is hovering around the Sustainable Development Goal, and then sustainable educational goals, sustainable economic goals, sustainable social goals. Sustainable has become the catchword. Can we have this type of situation? Can we have this type of research which can help for us to have our our pathway, our roadmap to achieve sustainable development? Because they have set the year 2030 as the target year, and by the time the researchers were busy in those sustainable development goals, there are 17 sustainable development goals, and they cover almost all dimensions of development, all dimensions of the society: education, health, sanitation, energy, industrial development, agriculture development, infrastructure development, inequality, climate change, life below water, life on earth, peace and social justice. Every dimensions of human life is covered under sustainable development. 17. And then the attention of researchers across the globe, when we say what is the trend, then we hope, we expect that some local issue must be being studied in the framework of sustainable development goal. What is the situation now? What was the situation in 2015? And what is likely to be achieved by 2030? And before these researchers could see the completion, could see the fruition of the progress of research, this pandemic caught the attention of the world last year in October, November in 2019 in China. And now the whole world, last 4 5 months, 6 months now, March, April, May, June, July, August, all these months, we are at our places. So when we are at our places, then there is stress, there is tension, there is isolation, there is disappointment. Now social scientists are studying how to cope up with these things, how to cope up with this stress, how to cope up with disappointment, how to cope up with dislocation, because social sciences study human behavior. They are not confined to the laboratory. They are studying human behavior. So whenever any new situation comes, every social research, every webinar which is going on now, earlier there used to be seminar, workshop in the classroom, in the seminar hall. Now we have that, webinar, one person is speaking from one place, and then international webinar, somebody from London, somebody from New York, somebody from Delhi, Hyderabad, वो सब अपने घर में बैठ के उसको सुन रहे हैं, उसको webinars. So no webinar is complete without using the word pandemic or COVID-19, as if this is the real challenge. So whenever, as I gave you a synoptic view right from the decade of 1950s until now, so topics have been changing, attention has been changing, but there are certain issues which have always been the central place. And what were those issues? All those issues were related how to make human life better, how to increase the welfare of the people, how to make human life more comfortable, how to make human life more enjoyable, how to have development with more social justice, how to have better distribution in the society, so that we can have a nation which is better placed than it was earlier. So that pursuit of knowledge है ना, मिले जो जर्रे तो तारों की आरजू, उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी में बैठे हैं तो इसलिए याद आया कि मिले जो जर्रे तो तारों की आरजू की है, सितारे पाए तो फिर माहताब मांगा है, मिला जो माह तो जागी है आरजू सहर, सहर मिली तो नया आफताब मांगा है। एक इनकलाब मुसलसल है तालीम का सफ़र, एक इनकलाब मुसलसल है तालीम का सफ़र, कदम कदम पे नया इनकलाब मांगा है। Every new moment, every new day comes up with a new challenge, and all social scientists, they get together how to solve it, how to diagnose it, how to prescribe it. Because social sciences, they are not only positive sciences to diagnose and to analyze, they are also normative sciences to also prescribe policies, how to get out of it, how to solve this issue, and how to reach at a higher level of equilibrium. Yes, we are thinking of a post-pandemic world. What will be the normal of the post-pandemic world when we come out of this pandemic situation? And then what will be that normal situation after we get out of it, lockdown and this lockdown? So thank you very much, Professor P.F. Rahman Sahab, for giving me this opportunity. And I try to share some of my views on trends in social science research with all the, though I'm not able to see their faces. It's a great pleasure to see the faces of the audience whom you are speaking to. So in this system, we don't have that pleasure. Academics is based on that pleasure, that enjoyment, because knowledge itself generates pleasure. And thank you very much. Thanks to every participant. Thanks to my colleagues, senior colleagues, if they are there, and all best wishes to the young teachers who have joined us, young researchers who have joined us. Thank you very much, Professor Rahman. Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, if you have any clarifications,
Yes, yes.
ask. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, you can unmute and then you may ask a question.
Sir, this is Muhammad Israr Alam.
Yeah, sure.
From Maulana Azad National Urdu University. I am very thankful to the HRDC Maulana Azad National Urdu University and Professor P.F. Fazal sir for organizing this wonderful workshop in this critical and a very limited opportunity kind of phase. It was a great listening to our resource person who has talked about the recent challenges in social sciences and the trends, basically the trends in social science research. uh, I just want to know, sir, that in social science research, we have so many issues pertaining to the issues of the critical issues of society. For example, the issues of minority or the issues of Dalit communities. So would you like to put some light on how we should proceed and what areas we need to focus when we are talking about these marginalized communities and all?
Yes, a very good issue. The main problem is of having a social justice and inclusive society. That social justice and inclusive society is the overall vision which should direct us to whenever we are embarking upon the study of any particular group, particular community, particular section of the society which is deprived for any reason, maybe a tribal society, maybe a religious minority, maybe a lingual minority, uh, maybe for any other reason, has not been the part of the mainstream of the society. So inclusion, how to make an inclusive society, I think that is the main principle which should guide us how to make an inclusive society, and how the benefits of the society can reach also to those people who have been denied of these benefits. So social justice, political justice, legal justice, human justice, all this. And that is why in the year 2000, the Human Development Report it came out with the title on the cover page. The title of that report is Human Rights and Human Development. Many of the issues that you have focused now, they are related with human rights and human development of different groups of the society. And the main principle which should guide us is how to ensure social justice and inclusive society. With that aim, we can go to analyze the situation as to why they are they are there and they are still marginalized. For instance, in history, philosophy, there has been a trend some 20 years before or 25 years before until now, subaltern studies. That is
Yes.
those groups of the people who did contribute, but they were not included in textbooks. They were not given the attention in researches which were carried out. So this needs to be done, and so that we can ensure a better society and an inclusive society. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
May I ask?
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting some of the key issues and the way you presented. It was really pleasure to hear you out. A question very related to Professor Israr. I think Israr ji. Okay, what he was trying to ask. Can you some throw light on the buzzword which is currently happening in the market about the skill development? And suddenly skill development will be a new mantra to solve the major problems. We need to
Sorry.
So, sir, can you just throw some light about the skill development, which has become a key buzz nowadays? That how the skill development, why do we need to have more significance of steps towards enhancing the skill education? Okay. So, what is your view about that? We really need to.
See, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. This is not only new thing. This has always been there, right from the time of the Kothari Commission in India. That commission focused on that after secondary education and higher secondary education, there should be ITIs, Industrial Training Institutes, to create a skill. And then the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan of 2009, the main focus of that report is Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. That the main focus of the entire program is, can we think of developing higher secondary education as the terminal stage of education, and we can find out people, students, youths at that level who can go into the economy and the society having different skills to perform different jobs. For instance, technician, driver, cleaner, these are the people who do not need higher degree and specialized degrees. So can we equip them with those skills? So it is not a new idea which is now the buzzword, has been the buzzword since the very beginning. The only thing is that sometimes we give more focus, it comes into discussion, it comes into newspapers, it comes into TV discussion, then we think that this is a new thing. It has always been there. ITIs in India, when they were opened with this very idea, create skills in the people who have just passed out high school and intermediate examination. So that was the base which was created in India, and we are now adding it. Navachar Karen, innovation, Navachar, Skill India Development Program. So we are adding on it, we are building further on it, because technology is changing. Nobody was knowing what is software technology earlier. We did not know what is computer. I did my thesis typing on a manual typewriter. So that was the biggest thing that any scholar could have, a manual typewriter. Then came that facet machine. उसको ऐसे घुमाते थे तो कैलकुलेट करते थे, ऐड करते थे और उसको डिवाइड करते थे, ऐसे फेसिट मशीन. पुराने रिसर्चर्स हमारी उम्र के जो है 70 साल के, उनसे पूछिए. फिर वो छोटा इतना बड़ा कैलकुलेटर आ गया, दैट वाज. फिर ये कंप्यूटर आ गया, फिर वो स्मार्टफोन. टेक्नोलॉजीज आर चेंजिंग, सॉफ्टवेयर आ गए, आपको रिसर्च करना आसान हो गया. सेम इज द केस विद द स्मॉल टेक्नीशियंस वर्क. फॉर इंस्टेंस प्लम्बर जैसे घर में आते थे, काम करते थे, तो अब 25 साल 30 साल पहले के, थिंक ऑफ द प्लम्बर वर्किंग देन 30 years before and the plumber working now in your house. So the technology has changed, inputs have changed, gadgets have changed, and the way of work has changed. I think that is the reason why we need updating the skill and education and the technical expertise to adopt the new technology. And as I told you, science is creating technology, new things, innovation, and we social scientists, we create people to adopt that new thing for the benefit of the mankind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful insight because my PhD topic is also based on that. So I'm enlightened.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Best wishes to you.
So good morning, sir. This is Archana Bai from Chennai, sir.
Yeah, Chennai.
It's a very good session, sir. We had a wonderful time today. Sir, can you throw some light on a new education policy, whether it will give us a good path for research, sir?
The new education policy, because we are concerned here with, it is a big thing. I hope there will be some other session by Professor Rahman on new education policy. But here, because we are concerned with research, and I'm giving the inaugural lecture, there is a National Research Foundation proposal in the new education policy. The topic on research, the chapter on research, is proposing the establishment of NRF, National Research Foundation. So apart from the funding agencies which are there at the national level, ICSSR hai, ICMR hai, ICAR hai, UGC hai, different funding agencies are there, Department of Science and Technology, DST, all these are there. Then there will be over and above, there will be one NRF, National Research Foundation, which will identify quality research proposals, peer-reviewed quality research proposals, and will be funding those researches. And when those researches are complete, will utilize the outcome, the results of those, the conclusions and findings of those research, and will put into practice by different departments and ministries or through NGOs and other organizations for the benefit of the society. So this is a very good thing which has been included in the research section of the, I'm not talking of the whole research, new education, but the research section, because this session is only related to research only. So National Research, NRF, National Research Foundation, is a very good proposal in the new education policy, and it is proposing this way, because it will find out what is the good research proposal, quality research proposal, how it will find out. It will make a peer review. When you submit your proposal, it will be peer reviewed. People will find whether it is really good proposal. Then it will fund you to carry it through 4 or 5 years, whatever time you take and whatever money they give you. And then you come out with certain findings and conclusions and results. Then government will put those results into practice. What you say that this should be done, then those concerned ministries will put into practice, so that your research, the money which has been given to you by the government, NRF, sees also the consequence and also the benefit of the society. Thank you. Thank you very much.
तुझा आवाज तिकडे काही जात नाही.
बस झालं आता हे.
Thank you. Any other query? Any other question?
Participants, any other question? Any other question? No question?
Ma'am,
Huh.
yeah, there's a request that kindly instruct all the participants to mute their audio, especially, and the video, because it is very much disturbing.
Disturbing, yeah.
Thank you.
Please, audience, you mute your mics when you have to ask the question. You just unmute it. Otherwise, you mute it because it is very disturbing in listening the lecture. Okay, sir. Okay,
So,
on
can I add few more things without a question?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
No, there is no question. In social science research, language is very important. Language is very important. When we write anything, then the language is very important. In science, language is not that important. In social sciences, language is very important. For instance, I just give one example, and then the researcher should be able to understand how important is the language in social sciences. For instance, the example is that this is a fact that in England, the master's degree, if any student goes to do a master's degree and then goes into job, then the lifelong earning is less as compared to a student who does graduation and then goes into into the job market, because then you have more longer time period for earning after graduation. So this is the situation. One student writes that master's degree in England has a negative value. And then this was put before the supervisor. Then the supervisor thought over it and he said, as if you are condemning the master's degree of England. Because the sentence was, master's degree in England has a negative value. It is a fact that if you go for masters, then lifelong earnings are found lesser. This outcome of a research. So when the researcher wrote that master's degree in England has a negative value, then the supervisor or the person reading that said, as if you are condemning the master's degree. Then the researcher was caught in a dilemma. Then what should I write, sir? Then he was suggested, you should write master's degree in England gives a negative value. When you write master's degree in England gives a negative value, you are not attributing your intuition to it. When you say master's degree in England has a negative value, as if you are condemning it, you are imputing your own motive to that. So this is very critical, and that is why language is very important in social sciences, and one has to be very careful in choosing words, adjectives, and verbs whenever the report is right. That is why we say that human rights must be asserted. The criticism must be very polite. We should honor the views of the other researchers when we are writing the thesis. So apart from the hypothesis, the progress of the research, I think research writing and academic writing is also very important, where language becomes very important. And because now the focus is also on regional languages. For instance, we are sitting in Urdu University, so the contribution which comes out in Urdu language, in regional languages, and the language which is used to convey that research is very important. So I'm very happy.
Can I share one question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, sir, this is Shankarsan from Brahmpur University, Odisha.
Odisha, yes. Welcome.
Sir, my question is, in this pandemic situation, how you are locating that the degradation of morality as a social researcher? So what will?
Because I'm not finding moral degradation. I'm finding moral strengthening, because earlier people were not coming out to help others. In this pandemic, we did see and we felt that people are coming out to help the travelers, to help the poorer people, to help the laborers, because that lockdown was declared all of a sudden. From midnight, everything will be closed. So from midnight, the other house next to my house, there were many construction laborers working. They were caught there. So it was our responsibility, neighbors' responsibility, to give them food. At least they should survive, and everybody did it. So I think this gave an opportunity. Crisis gives an opportunity to you and to help others, get help from others. So this is a very important part of spirituality. Spirituality and morality is not only going into the church or mosque or mandir and doing puja and offering flowers to God. It's not like spirituality means helping others, and spirituality means standing for the better cause in the society. So in this pandemic, what I did realize that people came out in large number, NGOs came out in large number, people donated generously for the cause of those people who were stranded, caught up. And they were caught up unknowingly. They were not knowing that tomorrow morning no train will be available, no bus will be available. So people in large number, I think everywhere, in every big city, small city, Kasba, Gaon, everywhere people came out. And I think that is, and then even in social distancing, the inner feeling is that this disease should be checked. Nobody should be infected by this disease. So that is the fellow feeling with it. Although there is a physical distance, but then there is a fellow feeling, है ना? कि रफाकतों के सफर में तो बेयकीनी है. If we are sitting together, रफाकत माने दोस्ती, nearness, है ना? रफाकतों के सफर में तो बेयकीनी है, ये फासला है जो रिश्ते बनाए रखता है. Rahman Sahib is sitting in Hyderabad, I am sitting in Lucknow. There is a long distance, but then we are very close at this moment. So ticklish may be, uncertain may be close contact. Distance holds it ever intact. Uncertain may be close contact. Distance holds it ever intake. So distance maintaining. Thank you very much. Very good question came
Thank you,
from
sir.
this
Thank you.
teacher. Thank you very much.
Sir, good morning,
There
sir.
is one
Hello.
question. One question I
Hello,
want
one
to
more
ask.
question, sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Sir, this is Sangshetty from Karnataka. Gulbarga.
Okay, welcome.
Sir, how many days the India will require to come back from this COVID-19 economic effect? The normal economy, we have incurred loss in this COVID-19. How many days or how many months to recover normal economic activity?
This is very uncertain situation. Only yesterday I was reading Andrew Biner, a psychologist in America, and another psychologist, two clinical psychologists in America. Only yesterday I was reading. So they say because we cannot foresee, we cannot predict that it will take 1 month or 2 months or 1 week or 2 weeks, because we cannot predict. This is the dilemma, and this is the cause of disappointment. And they suggest that if it causes some disappointment with you, then they suggest that you should detox your thought. What a wonderful word they have, detox your thought. That is you should shed away, you should throw away your negative thoughts and start living with only positive thoughts. Then that will create in you a positive person, a new person who is not believing in negative things, who is believing in positive things. Despite all the hell which is there are some silver linings, and we have to capitalize on that, though we cannot predict how long it will continue. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I have a question, sir. You have been exposed to England universities, best universities like Cambridge and Oxford. How do you compare those research milieu of these universities with best of Indian universities?
A very good issue. Very good issue you have raised, Professor P. F. Rahman. This is about the quality of research, and this is about the commitment of the researcher. One thing which is very important is that all the researchers there, suppose there are 10 researchers or 20 researchers, all the researchers there, their capability and mental level of work is very close to each other. They are very qualitatively, they are very similar. And here, if we have a group of 20, I have no hesitation in saying that one or two may be here and the other will be very far below. So in our country, in our universities, all researchers are not of the similar level. You get my point? So some of them are as brilliant as in UK, Cambridge or Oxford, but many of them are far below the expected level. So those who are far below the expected level, they do not create that ambience of quality research, because quality research is created in a particular ambience where all researchers, all supervisors, their work. This is one thing. The second thing is that they go on questioning again and again. For instance, one thing is that the education level reduces fertility. Higher education level reduces fertility. Families which are educated, they have lesser children. This is a very important conclusion and very general conclusion. Now, our researcher will be very happy to say that a research was done in a village, in a far-off village in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, or Uttar Pradesh or Jharkhand, and the finding is that higher the level of education, lower the fertility, and he will stop. Now, the British and the American researcher, top good researchers, I should say, everywhere good, even in India, also good researcher, will again ask a question: what are the routes through which education is related with fertility? You get my point? What are the routes? The general conclusion is that education, higher level of education reduces fertility. Okay, this is fine. Nobody will question that. Now, the researcher is asking, the good researcher is asking, what are the routes through which the higher level of education is related with reducing fertility? Is it awareness? It is making methods available. It is the compulsion. It is breaking the social norm. It is making the political compulsion to provide facilities. What are the routes through which this has worked in that particular area? Then perhaps that will be more useful. So going to those finer conclusions and final researches, I think that makes a difference between the research in good quality university and situation and elsewhere.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. Am
Yes.
I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Sir, good morning. I am Dr. Sibram Chatterjee from West Bengal.
Chatterjee from West Bengal, welcome.
Yes, sir. At first, sir, I would like to convey my sincere gratitude to you for your nice lecture, sir. Very good session. Sir, my question is that you have told in your session that reading is a primary condition for being a good researcher. Reading and more reading. But sir, nowadays, we, the new researcher, have already forgotten to go to libraries for reading books. We are exclusively based on internet, downloading the materials and go through those materials. Sir, what is your opinion on this?
This is a very good question. Is not that books are not available. Books are easily available. Previously, physical volumes, only physical volumes were there, limited volumes. Some book had only one copy, and if any student could lay his or her hand on it, then he could bring it home, and no student was able to get it. Now, on because of internet, many of the things are on internet, and Kindle editions are cheap editions which are available. You can read on the screen. Many books are available, you can buy it online. uh, reading reading time has reduced. That is very regrettable, which pains me really. Reading time has reduced. Students do not find time. When we were young researchers, we were rushing to the library and sitting in the library for 4, 5, 6 hours, even 8 hours continuously 7, 8 hours. Now at a stretch 7, 8 hours are not there. That much of a space of time is not there with you, because there are many other compulsions with you. Every 10 minutes your phone is ringing, you are talking, that is driving your attention away. So you have to train yourself. You have to find time and make room for it. Not that reading material is more easily available. Good books are available in libraries, through PhilipNet program of the UGC. There are other portals also where books are available, where very good books are available online. Kindle editions are available online. We can read very cheap priced editions are available. So the main thing is, can you find time? Can anybody tell you? This is very important, which I can repeat. Can anybody will anybody tell you what to read? And if you get that book, then where to read in that book? Because this is a big volume. What to read? We were told read the first chapter. We were told read the first 10 pages of the first chapter. हमको ऐसे बताने वाले टीचर थे. Do we have those teachers जो पहले पढ़ चुके हों उसको और बताएं जाइए 10वें चैप्टर से 11वें चैप्टर तक पढ़ के आइए? I must read first. If I am the supervisor, I must have, it is supposed that I must have read, then only I can guide the student. Go and read it and then come to me. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I am G. Narayana, GDC Medak, Telangana.
Ah,
Sir,
Medak.
before that one, I am thankful to Bilgrami Madam and Rahman sir, because I completed my first HOSI in May 2013. So really, whatever the courses are to be conducted by Manu is really very, very hilarious and benevolent, sir. So I did not forget their cooperation. And next one, sir, do you believe in new education policy can increase employment?
This is a big issue, because unemployment is not something which is related only with education or education policy. It is related with many things. Readiness of the people to work. Are they willing to accept the? There are many types of employment. People are employed, but they are not gainfully employed. Previously, we were talking of employment, that people should get employment. Rozgar milna chahiye. Then they got employment, and they were paid 2,000, 3,000 a month, which was very low. So they were employed. Technically, they were employed. They were working 7, 8 hours. They were getting 2,000, 3,000 rupees. So they were employed, but they were not gainfully employed. So we started talking of gainful employment, that if they are working for 7, 8 hours, must be paid some 10,000 or 12,000 rupees minimum. Then there came the time must be employed decently. So we started talking of decent employment. ILO is working in Geneva, International Labour Organization. They are watching at the world level what are the standards of working. So people who are employable, students who are employable, do they get opening at the expected rate? And what is that expected rate of wages? What is that prevalent rate of wages? Are they willing to accept that available rate of wages, or they expect higher rate of wages? And that is why we have placement programs in universities. Earlier, when this IIM was not there, IIM culture was not there, we were not knowing that there should be a placement cell in universities. There was nothing like a placement cell in the university. Now is the time when every university is having a placement cell, and companies are coming in to recruit students. Earlier, after passing out a particular degree, the student used to go in the society, in the market, in the city, and look into the newspapers, and whatever opportunity was available, can we apply, can we go there in competition in banks, industry. So the question is, what employability do I have, what opportunities are there, and what are the wage rates prevalent? Is it acceptable to us or not acceptable? If even at acceptable rate of wages jobs are not available, then we say it is unemployment. And certainly the government should look into it and should provide security to the people so that they are not disappointed from the job situation in the country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
One is
Another one, sir.
research
Sir?
funding is also one issue which makes dent in quality research.
Quality research is very important, because when we say quality research, there are many researchers. For instance, when this IRDP was introduced, Integrated Rural Development Program, thousands of theses, if not in lakhs, thousands of theses every university has in its stock on integrated rural development program, a case study of this block, a case study of that taluka, a case study of that district. So if you look into the researches, it is a similar stereotype of finding, a stereotype of methodology. So this is not the quality research. The quality research is that if we are studying the integrated rural development program, we could find out certain families, and we could find out what were the links through which they got the employment, and how that benefited them, and what could have been done for the betterment of those societies, those people. Because it is not only an economic issue, it has social dimension, political dimension, anthropological dimension, political dimension, legal dimension. There are so many considerations which go. So any good quality research will unravel all these things, will not only be limited only to the parent discipline of that research. And that is why we now see that interdisciplinary researches are being promoted. Interdisciplinary researches are being promoted. Even if you come out with a small conclusion and it is worth it, there is a quality research. Even if you come out with 20 conclusions, if it is not worth it, it will not be classified as a quality research.
Any question?
We publish a lot of garbage, and the quality publications are in terms of quality publication.
Yes, we are there. Yes, because there are two reasons. One, because only if you publish only what is available to publish. If you don't publish that, there will be no publication then. If you are looking for only quality research, maybe there is no quality research. Then the publisher, you have to publish that. And if you are looking to some quality standard, then maybe the publication is less, but then that will be worth it.
Thank you. Yes, participant. Anybody else?
Shall we give the vote of thanks, sir?
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir. लेकिन आप आए हैं तो एक अच्छी कोई शेर भी सुना दीजिए सर.
बहुत अच्छा. देखिए, we are sitting in मौलाना आजाद नेशनल उर्दू यूनिवर्सिटी, और अभी हमने थोड़ी देर पहले भी सेट की language is very important. Academic writing, research writing, language is very important. Less focus is given on research. I think now is the time when every researcher in social sciences, at least, should be given a training of good academic writing, good research writing. Why I am saying so? I am saying so because researches in social sciences is not only a factual statement. let me give an example. Then I will be able to bring this thing home, which I wish to say. If you are reading physics, chemistry, or botany, and if you are trying to translate that physics, chemistry, and botany from one language into another language, from English to Urdu, for example, then everything will be translated. But if you are trying to translate a novel or a story or a couplet poem of one language into another language, then a good deal will be lost. And this is what is the dilemma before the social science researchers. When they write anything, then everything has a lingual implication, has social implication, has cultural context, has political context, has societal context. ये जैसे पेंडेमिक आ गया, सोसाइटल चैलेंज है, तो बहुत केयरफुल लैंग्वेज होना है इसके अंदर में. और इसीलिए हम लोग का जो लैंग्वेज है, उसका लैंग्वेज का यूनिट क्या है? व्हाट इज द यूनिट ऑफ लैंग्वेज? वर्ड. लफ्ज. लफ्ज 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 में नूर समो दो तो उजाला हो जाए, दिल जो रख दो तो लबेनाज का बोसा बन जाए, और बारूद जो भर दो तो धमाका हो जाए. फिर भी तुम लफ्ज को मुजरिम न खताकार कहो. शब्द है ना, फिर भी तुम शब्द को मुजरिम न खताकार कहो. शब्द में नूर समो दो ज्योति, शब्द में नूर, लफ्ज में नूर समो दो तो उजाला हो जाए, दिल जो रख दो तो लबेनाज का बोसा बन जाए, प्यार मोहब्बत की चीज, और बारूद जो भर दो तो धमाका हो जाए. इसलिए कहा जाता है कि ऐसी बम्बास्टिक शब्द बोल देना, बम्बास्टिक लैंग्वेज ना. क्रिटिकल, even if you have to be critical, you have to honor the views of the other. You maintain the dignity of being critical, है ना. हाँ, लफ्ज में नूर समो दो तो उजाला हो जाए, दिल जो रख दो तो लबे नाज का बोसा बन जाए. लफ्ज में दिल का दर्द समो दो, हुस्न गजल बन जाएगा, पत्थर को आंसू दे दो तो ताजमहल बन जाएगा. बहुत साल रहे आगरा में हम, तो ताजमहल के जब तक जिक्र नहीं आता बात कंप्लीट नहीं होती है. तो आपने कहा, अब देखिए क्या बात कही जा रही है कि लफ्ज में नूर समो दो तो उजाला हो जाए, दिल जो रख दो तो लबे नाज का बोसा बन जाए, और बारूद जो भर दो तो धमाका हो जाए. फिर भी तुम शब्द को मुजरिम न खताकार कहो. लफ्ज को ना, वर्ड. फिर भी तुम शब्द को मुजरिम न खताकार कहो, शब्द से खेलने वालों को गुनहगार कहो. जो मिसयूज कर रहे हैं इसको, शब्द से खेलने वालों को गुन. लफ्ज टपकाएगा अमृत लबे गौतम तो हिले. खामोशी तो तोड़े. आप तो विद्वान हैं, लेकिन बोलेंगे नहीं तो पता कैसे चलेगा. लफ्ज हो जाएगा जिंदा कोई ईसा तो उठे, कोई बंसी में समो ले तो ये नगमा बन जाए, लफ्ज को कृष्ण जो मिल जाए तो गीता हो जाए. तो बहुत पावरफुल चीज है वर्ड. और हम लोगों के पास रिसर्चर के पास में दिस इज द powerful instrument through which we convey our message, we convey our ideas, we convey our thought. जो कुछ भी हम सोचते हैं अल्फाज के जरिए से उसको हम जाहिर करते हैं. हमारी जो अभिव्यक्ति का माध्यम है, we express through words. So words are all important, and that is why we honor the words, we honor the language, and there should be a full session on academic writing, how to write any conclusion so that it is interpreted only in one way. It should not be interpreted in many ways. The moment it is interpreted in many ways, it will create problems, and that is why researcher in social sciences has to be very careful. लफ्ज में नूर समो दो तो उजाला हो जाए, दिल जो रख दो तो लबे नाज का बोसा बन जाए, और बारूद जो भर दो तो धमाका हो जाए. फिर भी तुम लफ्ज को मुजरिम न खताकार कहो, लफ्ज से खेलने वालों को गुनहगार कहो. लफ्ज टपकाएगा अमृत लबे गौतम तो खुले, रक्स फरमा हो मगर कोई कन्हैया तो मिले, लफ्ज हो जाएगा जिंदा कोई ईसा तो उठे, कोई बंसी में समो ले तो ये नगमा बन जाए, लफ्ज को कृष्ण जो मिल जाए तो गीता हो जाए. बहुत शुक्रिया.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, on behalf of UGC HRDC, on behalf of all the participants, I say what a wonderful lecture you have given, sir. On the very first day, on the inaugural function, you have given a gist of how to do a research, what are the important things of research to be done by the researcher, and how the researcher contribute in the development, and how it helps in the promotion of knowledge in the society. Definitely, it's a very wonderful lecture for the very first day. So I thank you, and I thank for sharing your valuable views with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Participants,
thank you.
Participants, for the next session, please mute your mics. If you want to ask anything, then only you unmute it. Otherwise, it is very disturbing for others. Okay?
Yeah, we'll be breaking here for 15 minutes. And please log in again by 11:35.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Shukriya.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
11:35. Please log in for second session.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.